Hello and welcome to the Urban Gardener YouTube channel. My name is Alexis and I'm the Urban Gardener. So I'm doing a voiceover of this video because my sound did not come through. But I basically just wanted to give an intro of a project and renovation I recently did to our garden underneath our deck, where we basically just expanded and just beautified this area. As you can see behind me, we created a wall planter filled with herbs, and we also expanded some of our raised beds, and we use the Petramax rock glue, which this video is sponsored by, for this project. And I just wanted to give you all a quick little guide and tutorial of how I use it, a review of how I used it, which I'm very pleased by this project. So I hope you all enjoy, and feel free to drop any comments if you have any questions. All right, so this area of our backyard was under our deck, and we basically were not utilizing it in the most effective manner. As you can see, we had that one raised bed there, but it was so much space underneath the deck and just around it that we just could utilize, in our small backyard. So what we decided to do was to build like a wooden wall where we put some containers, which we were going to fill in with herbs, and then we expanded the raised bed underneath the deck just to add more real estate. Instead of eating into the yard, we just ate into that long space because I had extra parts to the raised bed that weren't being used. And then you can see here how everything looks painted, and the final result looks like this. The wall is planted with the herb wall, and then also we expanded the raised bed, and everything just grew in nicely here, as you can see. But there were some weeds that need to be taken care of. So although I had filled this prior to with some pea gravel, the weeds grew in, and so I pulled the weeds out and made sure to use the Petramax rock glue. And I used my Petra Tools backpack to add the rock glue into. And then once everything was mixed up with water, I ended up spraying it down and made sure not to spray any of the plants because, of course, this is an edible garden and we don't want to, get the chemical inside of our plants in our raised bed. But yeah, so I filled everything in. I did about like 2 rounds of this, applied 2 rounds of the rock glue onto the pea gravel, and just to make sure that everything settled in. And I made sure to do this on a sunny day. It says in the instructions, make sure you do this when it's sunny outside. Don't do it on a rainy day, or don't do it after, like right after a rain. Wait until it's really sunny, and I find it's better results that way. And I just filled it in. The glue comes out like a bluish color, as you can see here, but once it dries, it's basically natural. Like it looks like the actual color of the rock. So you'll see that in a few. But yeah, I just filled it around the bed. The weeds definitely, we pulled everything out. And I don't think I applied any type of weed, I guess, weed chemical to kill a weed killer here. But here is the final results. As you can see, the wall planter and then the 2 raised beds, like that main raised bed that I had before, basically expanded with the additional pieces that weren't being used into a longer raised bed, and that round raised bed, which is filled in with strawberries and some leeks and snapdragons. And I was able to even put some planters of some native flowers around or in between the 2 raised beds, and everything just looked nicely. Look at how the rock glue just settled in. And as I touched the actual rock glue, it didn't even move or budge. Like it filled in very nicely. And I'm just very pleased with the Petramax rock glue here, and I would definitely strongly recommend it. You see my wall planter right there. Everything just looks great. Like I'm just very, very pleased with how everything came together. But if you have any questions, feel free to add them in the comments, and definitely check out the Petramax rock glue if you're looking to do some type of project like this. Happy gardening!
And happy gardening.